What's up everybody, today we're taking a look at the brand spanking new Totemic build for Enhancement going into Season 2. Now, Totemic has been heavily updated and plays nothing like it did before, and it is now pretty damn insane for M+, and very consistent damage. Even though our Surging Totem still does a lot of our heavy lifting, our overall focus is now on smashing that glorious Lava Lash button. When Hot Hand procs, our Lava Lash goes a bit insane. Each Lava Lash procs a Sundering, which in turn procs Wind Fury on everything and also triggers a tick from your totem. So now you have Hot Hand empowered Lava Lashes, Sundering, and Crash Lightning, as well as the new Primordial Storm that procs Wind Fury on all targets. And if Wind Fury procs Flame Tongue weapon, it triggers a Whirl of Flame, dealing even more damage to everything. Rest is really just keeping Legacy of the Frost Witch buff active by spending every 8 seconds and making damn sure your Surging Totem is always on cooldown, or always active. If you can press Surging Totem, you press it, regardless of anything. Surging Totem is a big portion of your damage, but it also gives you 3 elemental motes. The Air Mote triggers 3 Surging Bolts when you spend, increasing your totem's damage by 30% for its duration. Earth Mote increases Flame Shock damage and makes it hit up to 6 targets, which is the cap. And the Fire Mote gives you Hot Hand when you Lava Lash. But if Hot Hand is already active, the Fire Mode instead extends it for a longer Hot Hand window. Now with that said, let's go over the build a bit and then break down the rotation and opener. So notable talents for this build, linked in the description below. First of all, we get the new Primordial Wave and Storm. Primordial Wave no longer applies Flame Shock, it instead requires Flame Shock on a target before you can press it. Now the reworked Primordial Wave instantly fires elemental projectiles on all targets with Flame Shock instead of buffing your next lightning bolt. You get 5 Maelstrom and up to 30% haste for 12 seconds based on targets hit due to splintered elements, and it enables the new Primordial Storm for the next 15 seconds. Primordial Storm is an uncapped AoE dealing reduced damage beyond 5 targets. It hits 3 times in one global and can proc Wind Fury on all targets hit, so it is an insanely bursty cooldown, and you want to combine this with Doom Winds to maximize its damage. Now it also spends up to 10 Maelstrom on either a Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning, which deals 150% more damage, all in a global. We run Flowing Spirits without Elemental Spirits or Alpha Wolfies. We want the physical damage buff, and they nerfed Feral Spirits to the ground. Though you kinda don't care about the wolves, they're just there, you get some extra dam. We then get Legacy of the Frost Witch for 25% more physical damage. Sundering with Molten Thunder, which has been reworked. Molten Thunder no longer gives Stormbringer procs a chance to reset Sundering. Instead, Sundering has a 40% chance to reset its own cooldown, increased by 12% per extra target hit up to 5. And each reset reduces the reset chance by half. And we get Elemental Blast for some extra single target damage. It also works great on AoE, at least during your opener due to its buff, or the buff you get. And with this build, we don't spend a whole lot. Damage doesn't come from spewing out Chain Lightning. Spenders are mostly there to proc Legacy of the Frost Witch. So weaving in a few Elemental Blasts for the buff just increases the rest of our toolkit's pumpiness. And if you're wondering why we aren't taking Ascendance, it's simply because it got nerfed a lot going into Season 2, so it's just not worth it anymore. Plus, the new Primordial Wave and Primordial Storm is pure bliss to play with. It's so fun! Now for the Totemic tree, all you want to run is Amplification Core and Earth Surge. Rest is whatever. Now with that said, let's go over the AoE Opener for M+. You want to pop Surging Totem into Flame Shock due to Earth Mote. This will hit up to 6 targets. Crash Lightning to get your Maelstrom generation going into Primordial Wave, giving you 5 more Maelstrom and a ton of haste. And you want to spend on Elemental Blast for its buff and to proc Legacy of the Frost Witch and to trigger the Air Mote, increasing your totem's damage by 30%. You then pop Doom Winds into Sundering and keep pressing it if it resets, and you follow it with Lava Lash. Now an important thing to keep in mind here, if Hot Hand procs before the Sundering Sundering step. You want to instead press Lava Lash over Sundering, because Hot Hand empowered Lava Lash has way more value than Sundering, and it will proc the fire mode, extending your Hot Hand proc, allowing you to spam it even more. And by the end of Doom Winds, you want to press Primordial Storm, which in turn will refresh Legacy of the Frost Witch, allowing you to continue spamming Lava Lash and potentially Sundering depending on resets. Outside of this, the rotation is a lot simpler. During Hot Hand, Lava Lash has the highest prio and you want to weave it, meaning press it every other global, unless you have extreme amounts of haste like Primordial Wave's haste buff or Bloodlust and Flame Shock up on multiple targets, in which case you can just spam Lava Lash every global with minimal to no downtime. Apart from Lava Lash, spend when you need to refresh Legacy of the Frost Witch, otherwise it's fine to just overcap Maelstrom in favor of other globals, which are Sundering and Crash Lightning. So TLDR, Lava Lash during Hot Hand, spend Maelstrom on Elemental Blast or Chain Lightning to refresh Legacy buff, otherwise Sundering or Crash. When Hot Hand is inactive, you instead prio Spender, so Chain Lightning, Elemental Blast, unbuffed Lava Lash, and lastly Storm Strike. And if you're above 50% haste with Flame Shock on multiple targets, you can spam Lava Lash during Hot Hand pretty much every global with a small amount of downtime in between the globals, and at 80% plus haste you can spam Lava Lash every global without downtime. But mostly it's just about Hot Hand empowered Lava Lashes. Now on single target, the only thing that really changes is that spending has a higher prio since, well, fewer targets, so Lava Lash with Hot Hand is still highest prio. After that you want to spend on Elemental Blast or Lightning Bolt and smash Sundering, followed by Lava Lash without Hot Hand, Storm Strike, and lastly Crash Lightning. Even with the new tier set, Crash doesn't have a huge prio on single targets. And that's pretty much it for the rotation, so let's go over gear just a little bit to get y'all started. When you get the new tier set, you kind of ignore it, as it is mostly passive. The 2 set increases your builder's damage, so Lava Lash, Storm Strike, Crash. 4 set, spending Maelstrom has a chance to proc Doom Winds, and Doom Winds increases Crash Lightning damage, and Crash does more damage to your main target. But in essence, it's just your stuff does more damage, and occasionally your Crash Lightning does an absurd amount of damage. For the rest of our gear, we still aim for high amounts of haste and mastery on everything, so as far as a BIS list goes, does it have haste and mastery on it? Well, then it's good for enhancement. Does it have crit and verse? Avoid it like the plague. Now I would say COVID, but we all know people didn't avoid that. Same thing goes for trinkets. Several new trinkets with high mastery or haste procs like House of Cards, Signet of Priory, or Suspicious Energy Drink, just to mention a few. Now when Sims are more established, we'll probably get a true BIS trinket list and I'll update in the comments. But all in all, the new Totemic is just amazing to play. Fast paced as all hell, no downtime, and no long cooldowns to play around. You have Primordial Wave and Primordial Storm ready for virtually every single pack in a dungeon, allowing you to always go in with an absurd amount of burst and just decimate packs. And getting that Primordial Storm triple hit that's uncapped, and when combined with Doom Winds procs Wind Fury on every single target, just feels rewarding as hell. And numbers go brrrr. Not to mention how visually pleasing all of this is. I mean, Lava Lash casting Sundering is just mwah. Sundering just looks great, and now we get to see it constantly. And the new Primordial Wave and Primordial Storm looks insane. Not to mention the glow up that Crash Lightning got. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this guide. Hope y'all are blasting away. Now, if you have any questions at all, hit me up in the comments. You can also become a patron, Twitch sub, or YouTube member. If you'd like to help support my work, you get access to the Stankie Gaming Discord, where you can get help with anything enhancement or PvE related. You can also get shoutouts in videos, among other things. Don't forget the usual stuff, like, comment, subscribe, slap that notification bell. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next enhancement guide.